Hello, my friend, and welcome to my channel. For today's session, we're going to be doing a distance energy work healing for trusting yourself. This is a great video to pair with anything that we've worked on here with self-doubt. I know that a few of you have shared in the comments below that you're struggling with self-doubt. And while I do have several healing sessions here for the collective on that subject, I did want to create this session for, rather than clearing any self-doubt, we're sort of filling up this space with trust, trusting ourselves. So we're going to begin with a little bit of spray. This spray has some frankincense. It's got a little bit of eucalyptus and cedar wood. So for this, we are really going to be focusing on inviting in balance and empowered energy. We won't necessarily say activated energy, but very empowered energy in the root chakra. So that's kind of going to be where we're focusing today, okay? All right. So I'm going to start out a little bit differently. We're going to just sort of set the tone for this session by filling up your aura with the properties of these three wonderful essential oils. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. My name's Anna. I am a Reiki Master practitioner. You're probably familiar with my Reiki Master teacher, Jillian Lindenate. And I like to create these supportive healing sessions for the collective with the intention of empowering you, hopefully relaxing you, and in some cases, inviting you to drift off to sleep. How are you doing? Hope you're doing as well as possible. I'm sending you heaps of love and support. All right, so we have our intention candle lit here, and we are going to use this flame to help us set our intention. It's just a little tiny little flame over there, and that's all right. It'll be strong enough. So hand to heart, on behalf of your highest, wisest, most empowered and aligned self, in loving comfort and perfect balance, I wish to conduct this distance Reiki session for supporting you in trusting yourself, releasing self-doubt, and practicing trust. We'll also be balancing and aligning the root chakra. All right. If you would like to use this flame to clarify or specify, or even to set your own intention based on whatever you're moving through at this time, I will leave this flame open for you to do so now, as long as it's in service of your and everyone else's highest, wisest, most empowered and aligned selves. Then I will honor that intention and see it through time and space to where and whenever you happen to be receiving this session. Okay. Lovely. So I'm now going to use a little bit of sage to do some further clearing here. A little bit more energetic clearing. Okay. I feel like sage bundles and all of our little esoteric tools are so personal and so specific to us and the way that we practice this kind of spiritual healing. That, yeah, for me, whenever I'm kind of receiving distance sessions from other creators here, it's so fun to see how we all use the different tools in our practice and what tools we really resonate with. Yeah. It's fun. I'd love to know what some of your favorite tools are to work with, what some of your favorite modalities of spiritual healing are. It's fun to learn these new things, these new aspects, and the more we learn, the more we can test out and work with and see if it is going to become a new part of our own personal practice. My personal practice is slightly different from how we work together here, but a lot of the fundamentals are the same. But I really love using a lot of movement in my personal practice. Just kind of a funny thing, even for manifesting. It's one of the things I like to do. The moon cycles, kind of using movement and flow. Anyway, I'd love to hear about yours too. Okay, I'm just going to move through around the root chakra. And we are going to do a bit of clearing down here. Gorgeous. So just clearing anything that's available to be cleared at this time. Lovely. Wonderful. Now I'm going to light a little bit of incense, and I think I'm going to use some of the old trusty cedarwood incense that I love using for these sessions. Okay. Oh, it's just delightful. Okay. Gorgeous. Of all of this in the incense sticks that I have, I think this is my favorite one. It's from a local place. Okay. So I'm going to draw the symbols outside of your heart center. Well, I've mentioned this in several videos, but one of you asked again recently, saying, one of my favorite things about Reiki videos online is watching people draw the symbols, but where you draw them I can't see them. So one of the reasons that I draw them outside of the heart center is because the heart center is the center of the 7 primary chakras, and it's obviously the place of love, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, non-judgment, oneness, and unity. And so for me it feels like it's a beautiful place to kind of activate and begin this connection that we share here. And then in addition to that, I was always taught that the symbols are sacred and that they are passed from teacher to student, and then when that student becomes the teacher, then they pass them to their student, and so on and so forth. So for me, I was always taught to kind of keep what it's called the lineage. So that's why I don't have any feelings about other people sharing. That's the reason why I don't share them, but I might change my perspective on that. But that's why, just in case you're curious. And I don't have any thoughts or feelings about other content creators sharing them. I just don't. Yeah. Okay. So outside of your heart center here. Okay, now just doing a bit of further clearing here. Just a little bit of further clearing. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. So, trusting yourself. Trusting your ability to do something, or in some cases, trusting your ability to avoid doing something. I think as we've been reflecting so much, especially here, on the different aspects that we want to call in and manifest in this new year, fresh starts, new beginnings, and all of this kind of energy, I think that one thing that is just very present, that's in the air for sure, is how can I maybe shift or shake up a behavior, maybe shift or shake up something that a habit that I'd like to cull from my life. And while we're doing this, I was speaking to someone recently about this. There's this sort of old pattern, old habitual kind of tendency to say, oh, well, if you put your focus on the thing that you don't want to do, very often that will start to rise to the surface. It's the same thing that we're talking about when we're talking about manifesting, and why we're, in the collective, we kind of chat a lot about speaking in the positive when we are manifesting, law of attraction, speaking in the positive, speaking in the present, all of these things. But when we start to put our attention and focus on something like, I don't want to, for example, very general example, I don't want to drop this. I don't want to drop this thing that's in my hand. And when we start to focus on that, I don't want to drop this, I don't want to drop this. It's that sort of linear thinking without expanding our awareness, expanding. When we start to focus just on do not drop, very often you're just inviting in dropping that. You're kind of manifesting that in a sense. This is a conversation I was having with my friend recently. So, this is really about the fear of doing something, overtaking your confidence and trust in yourself. And I think in this situation, facts are your friends. If you look back, there are moments in your life that you can draw on to really remind you of your abilities, of your potential for change, of your potential for growth. And so I just really want to invite a few different aspects here that hopefully can be supportive to you while you're stepping into this beautiful journey of releasing self-doubt and really calling in and inviting in real trust in yourself, trust in what you do, what you say, how you move through things, what you think, what you feel. Just trust in yourself, all of it. We've done trust in intuition, we've done trusting your voice. This is really about grounding in all of that, so really activating the root chakra. So I'm going to go through with this owl rattle just to kind of just stir up the energy a little bit, but more specifically I'm going to move the energy around in the root or the base chakra, that bowl at the base of your torso. I really want to invite in this beautiful, safe, secure, activated energy in that space, okay? Can you feel that boost? Can you feel a little bit of lift? Some grounding. Okay. So let's go on ahead and move through with our selenite wands to do a little bit of further clearing, and also to kind of give you a little bit of a further boost, purified, elevated energy. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to take these two wands and move through, starting at your crown and working down. And again, starting at your crown and working down. Wonderful. I'm now going to move through with a few different stones. And the first stone that I'm going to be using is this Smoky quartz. This is a a polished smoky quartz. And I'm going to like to pair it with this smoky quartz pointed cluster. This has several different points, several different faces. Really, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 primary points, and they're kind of all focused in the same direction. I absolutely love this stone. I love how it's lighter at the bottom, and then as it goes up, it gets darker, almost black at the very, very top of the top faces, but you can still see through it, especially if you hold it up to a window. It's really beautiful. So this is a great stone, and I'm using both the different aspects. We spoke about this in our live stream, but I love, using the different shapes of the stones that have different properties, and they kind of share the energy of the stone in different ways. And I really love using the same stone but in different formations, in different shapes, just to provide a different energy. So for this point, the smoky point, I really want to kind of draw a line, kind of removing anything that's blocking our trust in ourselves. So essentially what we're removing here is any self-doubt, just kind of cutting through that very gently. This is all energetic, obviously, but sort of like piercing through that, and then kind of spreading that apart, and then filling that with this grounded, beautiful, gentle energy. Okay? So we're going to come through here just using these two different stones. So one aspect that I was taught is the beautiful power in doing this kind of energy work. And as a Reiki practitioner, and once you become a Reiki master, this beautiful power, once you've used all the symbols and done all of this incredibly healing, wonderful, empowering work, to then begin to carve out your own symbols. And those are ones that you might see me sometimes share here, but again, very personal. But that's a kind of fun aspect here of energy work, is cultivating your own different symbols, words, aspects of healing. Have any of you made a New Year's resolution to start doing energy work, whether that's Reiki or shamanism or any kind of energy healing work? Maybe tarot, maybe sound therapy, color therapy, maybe speak therapy, maybe becoming a counselor. I know several of you are therapists and counselors. But Reiki teachers, Reiki practitioners, yoga teachers, meditation teachers. I'd love to hear. It's a powerful path. I love doing this work. I feel so lucky I get to connect with you in this way. It's a real joy in my life. So thanks. So now moving down and really working in the root or the base. So starting here in your right hip. Lovely. And now we're going to do the same here in your left hip. So as we spoke about, repetition and awareness can both be incredibly helpful when trying to trust yourself, build trust in yourself and your abilities. Also reminding yourself of the truth of the situation, whether that's revisiting past experiences of growth and development, and trusting that you're capable of change and growth. And another aspect here, I'm going to trade out this Smoky quartz, polished Smoky, for this clear quartz point, just to invite in this kind of the balanced, grounded energy of the Smoky with this kind of higher line energy. So we're just really balancing our upper and our lower chakras here, okay? So you can also start to invite in a very safe place where we can go, turning inward to kind of move through any of these feelings that are inviting self-sabotage into our growth. This might not resonate for all of you, but for any of you who feel like the second you try to change something, change a behavior, pattern, habit, maybe this could apply to any addictions, but anytime you get into that and you find yourself just engaged in this kind of mental battlefield, feeling like, oh, I can't do this. There's maybe a lot of shame that comes in. I've never been able to do this. Of course I can't change, blah, blah. Any of that negative self-talk. Just gonna clear that. Any of you who feel like this, that you're just kind of, you're not comfortable, centered, and secure in your own ability to move through issues, move through problems, that you're not secure in your ability to change, you're not confident in your ability to have stability, grounding, and security in your life. Maybe you feel that you change and then you go right back to a previous behavioral pattern. So this is more of a session for you, and anyone who doesn't resonate with that, just use this to kind of buoy up the work that you're already doing. So the trust that you have in yourself and your abilities, just use this to support that work, okay? But for any of you who are really struggling with that voice in your head that's just telling you that you're not able to do things, you're not good enough, you're not whatever, I have lots of videos on helping to clear that, but I also wanted to just practice creating a really beautiful, safe space inside of you where you can really start to move through all of this mental framing that you've been doing. So when you mess up or do something maybe that you don't want to do, like let yourself down, let's say, I really want to, sometimes we can go straight from, I did this, I messed up, to denial of it, which would look like, oh, I messed up. I don't want to feel that. You know what? It's fine. It's really fine. It's fine. I messed up, but it's okay. It's okay. And very often when we do that and just kind of suppress our emotions, suppress certain thoughts and feelings, they will find a way of coming up. So this way we're taking agency over our thoughts, our feelings. We're moving through and processing them so that we can have agency over when and how we express them. Because sometimes when we suppress them, they will come out, however, because they need to be expressed. They need to be worked through, mulled over. And so sometimes we just, they will just kind of pop out. This can be seen in a number of different ways, depending on how you express yourself. But basically, I want to invite in here a safe space for you to process those maybe difficult, challenging emotions, shame, doubt, any of those insecurities, any fears. So let's for a moment here just invite in a room into our mind's eye. And if you're not a visual person, maybe just place your hands on your heart and just feel into what safety and love mean to you. Safety, love, and support. What do these words feel like? What's the sense of these words? It's telling a friend or a wonderful supportive family member, telling them what you're going through and being met with empathy, understanding, and care. With mirrored empathy, so really concerned for you if you are afraid, holding space for you if you are angry, being available for you in whatever state you are in. So I just want you to sort of start to feel into this. Now we can begin to imagine a room, let's say, for those of you who would like to engage in this kind of little bit of visualization here. So, what does the most comfortable and supportive room in the world look and feel like for you? It can be a real room, one that you're very familiar with. A childhood room that you used to go. Your room, bedroom. Could be a bathroom, a closet. Could be anywhere. Or it could be a room that you've imagined, that you're creating for yourself. I'm gonna place my hand outside of your hips here, just to invite in a beautiful sense of support, that you are being held here. What's the temperature in this room feel like on your skin? Are there any sounds in this room? Any music playing, or can you hear anything outside? What's in this space? So now, let's just be here together. And if any voices start to come in that are inviting in shame, judgment, doubt, we are just going to kindly and with love and compassion say, no thank you, no thank you, and close the door and lock it for now. And just with love can say to this voice of shame, I love you, but you're not allowed in here. Because these things are different aspects of ourselves and really just trying to protect us. Protect us. So, let's sit here for a while. And if if anything comes up when you leave this Reiki session, when you're moving through your daily life, that starts to make you, or not make you, but that invites in a sense of doubt, or you start, the trust in yourself starts to maybe wane a little bit. Try to practice returning to this space. And this is a place where we can hopefully develop a supportive little chamber for you to move through some of these feelings and honestly say to yourself, I wonder why I'm triggered by this thing, or I wonder why I'm finding this so difficult. Let me think back through my day. Did I have interactions today that made this more challenging for me? What are the steps that lead me to not kind of act in my best interest or to engage in self-sabotage? That this is a safe space for you to speak to yourself as if you are a loving presence, your best friend, your loving, supportive family member. Or it's yourself speaking to your inner child. So whatever it is, it's a very benevolent, kind, it could be the Great Spirit, it could be God, it could be the universe, whatever gives you a sense that there is a safe kind of cocoon of compassion and comfort here. And really allow yourself in practice, not inviting in that negative self-talk. Practice leaving that out at the door. You could always revisit it if you want to. Just for now, let's practice setting it aside and really looking, if this was someone else, how would I advise, guide, comfort, nurture? And do your best to try to return here when you can and when you think of it, when it's available to you. Because ultimately, it would be wonderful if this was always available to you. So, let's sit here for a moment. You are connected. You are expressive. You are loved. You are strong. You are creative. You are safe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sending you heaps of love and support. I'm honored. I'm honored that you're here. It really is such a great joy, and I feel cheesy saying blessing, but it really is a blessing in my life to have the privilege of connecting with you. So thank you. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the session, and until I see you again, be so well. Chakra activation, and just doing a little bit of balancing and aligning. But this is a new kind of video for me. I usually, speak directly to the collective instead of the individual. So that always happens when I'm trying to do it like copy and